Hello and welcome to TreeWalker Talks, episode 97. Your garden doesn't have to be perfect. All right, let's start off with the homestead happenings or the going-ons around here for the week. I will tell you first off, it has been a bad sinus week. I have been sick off and on, pretty fatigued, a lot of headaches, that sort of stuff. It's the weather changes. We were 80, set a record high at 81 or 83 the one day, and then we hit 42, I think, on the next day, and snow. And on the 83, we had like an inch and a half of rain. So, it's up and down, up and down. Today was very nice, 60, 61 or 63 out, and so it's going to be a low of 53 tonight. So I really didn't have any energy. I didn't feel like doing anything, but I went up because, as many of you know, I had all the chickens. I didn't have any more chickens anymore. They had all passed away, gone on to the next life, however you want to look at it. So I went up to check out chicks and ended up getting 9 of those little babies. And I was rewarded for going up there, even though I didn't feel like it, because they were $1 a piece. They were 75% off because they came in kind of mixed. So 3 of them, I know exactly what they are. Well, I should say 6 of them, I know what they are. 3 of them are Americanas. So we'll get brown, green, blue eggs, probably. 3 more were Buff Orpingtons, which the Buff Orpingtons take a little bit longer to get big, and they get really big. They're like a dual purpose. So they're a meat chicken and an egg layer. So they take a little bit slower before they start producing. The Americanas are pretty much you're looking at an egg layer. They do get bigger, but not like really a whole meal type of meat. And the next 3 were the amber linked, which those might be amber linked. They might be something else. We'll see. But they are mainly a egg layer for producing crazy amounts of eggs. So hopefully, in 6 months or whatever it is, so that would put us at what? September? They should start laying, I think. Something like that. Kind of out of it tonight. A little bit, focus is a little hard, so math's not going to be great. So we got that. And I got that. I got a few other little things, all for under $20. So pretty awesome. Got some organic soil to start more seeds, which should have been done a couple weeks ago. But you know what? It's okay. It's all right. It's going to be fine. They're going to sprout. They're going to grow. If I have time, put them in the greenhouse, get a little extra trying for the peppers, but I shouldn't. We should be fine. And if not, I'll buy some. We'll see. So far, the shrubs and bushes and trees and things I planted, I haven't got one to sprout yet. A little disheartening. I am going to do seeds this coming week because those don't take very long. I can do them before work, after work, that's what kind of thing. But I need to get out there today and work. And when I got home, I was invigorated, went out there, it was nice, so I pushed it. Went a little too far, of course, but that's me. One thing a lot of people don't know is, according to my nurse at work, we do have a nurse at work who will look at things for you, that sort, mainly so that they can send you to her instead of getting a workman's comp type thing or whatever, but she's knowledgeable. And it looks like when I was working on my wheel bearing that I probably tore, not like off or anything, just a tear in one of my arm muscles on my left arm, which is my good shoulder, good arm. So it has been very painful. She told me I should take it easy, use it, but don't overuse it because you don't want it to not heal quite right. If you don't use it, it's not going to heal good. So, I decided to go out there and tear a roof off of the duck run and start holding long 2x4s up and screw them into place to build the new chicken run onto the old goat barn. So, taking it easy, moving the ladder around, heavy wood, that sort of stuff. Just take it easy. I did get the roof off. I knew if I started, I had to get it all the way off because if we get a high wind, it would take it off. Got that cleared out, and I've got some other plans for that area too. I'm going to swing the maple syrup cooker that you guys saw around and make it a fixture on there in between kind of the little, what would have been the male goat's barn, but is now a tool shed for like rakes, shovels, that sort of stuff. And the new chicken coop, which is the old girl's goat barn. Because then it'll be kind of cut by the wind. I can take it up and put some roofing by there so that if it's raining, snowing, or whatever, I won't get wet. And the chimney can be attached, so it'll just be really good. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be huge, huge. Since, I plan on doing my trees, plus hopefully my dad's property's trees, which we talked about, I think, last week. So I am sore tonight. I am a little bit bad. This is March 29th, and it is a little bit earlier than normal. It is 9:47 p.m. So I want to take this moment to give a big shout out to one of the people who really, when I feel down, I chat with this person. They always give me inspiration. They show me that I'm appreciated. She's just a great person. I'm talking about Firestar. She is my only Patreon, and she has been for a long time. She is just awesome. So if you see her, tell her she's awesome. Thanks, Firestar. I really appreciate all you do. Okay, so what am I going to do with that the old duck pen run? Well, what I think I'm going to do is, that dirt is really nice. I thought about putting grass there, but I think I'm going to build a little frame, get some landscape timbers, build around where it was, because I'm going to take those walls down and move them back for the chicken run. But I'm going to take those down, put the landscape timbers around, and I think I'm going to I don't think I have enough wood out there once I get the chipper going again. I'll have to see. I don't think I will. I mean, I've got quite a bit, but I want to do the chicken run inside and out, and then this area. So I'll probably have to go get a truckload of all natural wood chips to put in where the duck run was. And my plan with that is I'm going to spread some wine cap and maybe other types, but for sure wine cap, mushroom spore in there, and then probably put another thin layer of wood chips over top. And since that would be all mud anyways, I'd either have to grass seed it, which then, yeah, it looks nice, but what are you going to do with it? You're really not going to do much with it, right? I mean, honestly. So if I wood chip it, then it kind of is another carbon area where when the ground gets wet, it can kind of go. But then it can also grow mushrooms. And I can it's kind of in the shade there, so I could even put potted plants in there, flowers. I am thinking about maybe even a bench mixed in there somewhere with a little water feature. But thanks to the Springer Spaniel, we probably can't have a full river or pond that she can get into, because she'll get in every time she goes out to go potty, and we don't want that. So maybe make it a nice little sitting area with mushrooms going around it, right next to the chickens, with a little bit of a waterfall or something there. We'll see. I've got lots of plans out there, because up by the house, I've cleared down some of the burning bushes, I think they're called. They turn red in the fall because they were getting a little big. And we decided that we're going to pea gravel that area, kind of section it off so we can sit there and stuff and have our fire ring there. So trying to make the backyard, since it doesn't look like I'm moving anywhere, to make the backyard into kind of an oasis, even though you'll still hear the traffic. So those are some plans, all that, plus the gardening bed, or the garden beds and stuff, getting everything out there. Oh, on the one side of the chicken run, I did get, I think I might have mentioned this. I know I did in my head, so I don't know if I did to you guys or not. I've got 2 4-foot beds that should screw together, and I'm going to put those on the one end side of the chicken run, on the outside, so they really can't get to it too much. If they get their heads through, probably not, because I'm going to put a smaller fence line or fencing up there too, so that we don't have any issues with predators, because we've had that here, or anything like that. I'd even like it make it smaller so that we don't get birds in there, because we did have the avian flu in this area. So I just would like to keep everything separated so we don't get little sparrows going in. Plus, then I could also go back to my Kalmbach crumbles if we feed them in that way. But I'm going to put that there, and I plan right now on putting comfrey in there. So we'll have an 8-foot bed of comfrey. So if they can get, the leaves grow up against it and they chew a little bit, it'll be great for them. But then I can have it harvested, and I don't have to worry about weeds, or it'll kind of block things from getting under the fence there. So that's kind of my plan on that one. I've already got the bed, and I'll get it put together and take you along on that with a video, hopefully. And I'll give you a link. If everything works good and we like them, a link to where you can purchase the same thing. Now, I did get it on sale, and they're round ends. So my plan is, since it's 2 4-foot, I'm going to take the round end off of each one so I can join them, so then it's one big 8-foot one. And then I'm going to take that round and then put it together, and then we can have another round raised bed somewhere. I might put that out front. It gets good sun out there, and it's just grass. And put some herbs in it. Downside of that is it really gets dry out there in the summer in the front yard, because it does get the morning sun in that. So we'll have to see what we do. It might end up in the backyard, so it's easier to water with everything else. Wow, I didn't know if I'd have a whole lot to talk about. Here it is, 11 minutes in almost, and we're not even to the main topic yet. We've just been talking about what's going on here. Didn't work on anything on the truck this week, thank goodness. Still have to do the coil packs and plugs to get that going. Am planning on going up mushroom hunting for morels the first week of May. So I need to get those changed and make sure everything's going to go here shortly, so that if there's anything else I need to fix, I can. Let me get a drink here, using my bad arm, of course. Oh, that's good. Okay, well, I don't think there's anything else going on. We got the chicks. Eventually, we'll get the rabbits out there where the old run was for the chicken coop and the chicken run. I want to tear that down and get a rabbitry kind of set up there with a big pen for each. I want to have it. It's going to be a custom built one, and I'll take you along with that when we get to there. Okay, so I will tell you, I have actually got a list of ideas of topics for TreeWalker Talks, because I feel passionate about something, or I'll hear somebody saying something that makes me go, oh, yeah, that'd make a great episode. So this is a good problem to have. The only thing is, now I want to do more TreeWalker Talks during the week, but I know how that goes. If I start doing more, then I'm going to run out of topics. So I just write them down, keep them there, and we'll touch them if I feel passionate about it still, and we'll get to it. This week's is, your garden doesn't have to be perfect. So, you've seen my garden out there, especially last year. It was horrible. It was bad. I mean, last year it wasn't even functional. Okay, I'll be honest with you. It wasn't functional. My garlic didn't do good, which my garlic doesn't look like it's doing so hot this year, but what's growing is growing, so we'll get there. We just had a bad year last year with everything. And it was me. It was mainly me, I know it was. But let's talk about normally. My garden out there, it gets weeds growing up into it. Some of those little morning glory vines, those really stickly plants, I don't know what they're called, but they're actually a beneficial weed, herb, whatever you want to call them. And it's just, I've got some boards coming off of the raised beds, and everything's not perfect. It's kind of hard to walk in between them a little bit because the spacing's not the best. I've got the trellises. They're not perfect. I've got another trellis I want to put up because I just took it off of the top of the duck enclosure, and I don't know where I'm putting that yet, but, it doesn't have to be perfect, though. It can look like poo. Okay, maybe you don't want it to look like poo, but, as long as it's functional, as long as it's giving you food or stress relief or something pretty to look at, whatever the garden means to you, it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to fit you. It has to be functional for you. And that's kind of the same thing in life, isn't it? Your life doesn't have to be perfect. I know mine isn't. I got a lot of ups, a lot of downs, some things that I'd rather not talk about, and some things I would like to shout to the mountains, right? But it's not perfect. It never is perfect. And anybody who thinks they have a perfect life, well, they're lying. So I just mainly wanted to take this time. Like I said, this may not be a long section. We might have more on the other. But I want to take this time to say, it's okay not to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. Your garden doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it's functional. As long as it works for you. Because you know what? You need to take care of yourself. I say this all the time to everybody at work and that. You have to take care of yourself because no one else will. Mainly because nobody knows what you want, what you need. You know the best. You are the keeper of the secrets. You're the one that needs to work on you. Whether that means having a beautiful garden that's got pea gravel throughout it, it's perfectly weeded. You know, I'm going to tell you something. Even if it looks perfect, I bet you things don't grow as good, or it's not as functional. So, just because it looks perfect doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. Same thing with your life. Just because you're like, wow, that person's life is perfect. You know what? I bet you when they go home or they go to work, whichever it is you don't see them at, I bet you they have just as much issues as you. I know, talking with people I've worked with in that, a lot of them have issues. And a lot of them don't tell their people at home. They don't tell coworkers. You know, they keep it to themselves. I tend to dig at people to find out what's wrong. I guess, you know, to be honest, I've hurt a lot in my life. I've done things that caused me to hurt. I've had things happen to me that hurt. So I know what that feels like. So I try to be there for those at work, at home, wherever, so that they feel a little bit better, because I don't want anybody to feel the way that I did. I guess that's the reason why I get people I work with that call me dad. Or the people I worked with, I've discussed this before, that will call me up or text me or, you know, whatever about what's going on in their life. Even I haven't seen them in years. Like the one where he's like, hey, I just had a kid, you know. And they wanted to share that with me because I made an impact on their life. You know, so do what's good for you. But be humble and kind. I love that song, by the way. And help those others that you can. Keep them from doing the stupid mistakes you did. And by you, I mean me. That's what I tell my girls all the time. I'm not telling you things to try to control you or tell you how to live your life or whatever. I'm trying to save you from making the mistakes that I made. And I sure as hope to everything that they don't make the same mistakes I did, because I made a lot of mistakes. I had fun getting there. I paid for it in the end. So remember, life doesn't have to be perfect, and neither does your garden. You be you, and you do what you need to do. Thanks for joining me on this little tidbit of information, this little bit of what's going on the homestead here. I hope to see you on the next one.